I'm the only daughter of the richest man in the capital, and because I refused the family-arranged dynasty marriage, I ran away to Eastbrook. There, by pure accident, I fell in love with the reigning Oscar king and he ushered me straight into Hollywood. He showered me with affection and opened every door, yet he never, ever went public with me, until the day I overheard him talking to Miles. She's cleaner than the usual escort models, so she takes care of my physical needs. Half of Hollywood wants me, choosing her is basically a gift. Even if she blows up, her status will never be good enough for me. I'm already engaged to the Vance heiress. We'll announce it the day Vance goes public. So all the devotion was a performance and I was just a toy. When Dad learned how crushed I was, he called and said, "No one's forcing you to inherit anything. Billions are yours to blow. If it makes you smile, I'll buy your agency tomorrow and make you a shareholder." Good thing I'm not some powerless extra. An actor, no matter how famous, doesn't even qualify to walk through our front gate. I've been dating Adrian for 3 years. Crew and staff swear they've never seen him dote on anyone like this. 3 years ago I landed in Eastbrook with empty pockets. To survive, I signed with a shady outfit as a print model, only for them to demand nudes or a crushing penalty fee. Adrian showed up, scared the predators off, hired me an acting coach, dragged me onto sets and talk shows. Not wanting to waste his faith, I worked twice as hard and rocketed from nobody to best new face. Then I stepped up to his trailer and heard Miles inside. "Luna's snagging the lead in Victor's new picture, she owes that to you. Man, you really spoil her." My heart melted, until Adrian's Arctic answer came through the door. "I bankroll her, she pays with her body, fair trade. I've cycled through dozens like her. Novelty's all it is, feelings don't factor. And I'm engaged to the Vance princess." The announcement D. Rops wants Vance lists. My hand froze mid-knock like someone had dumped ice water over me. He always told me everyone in this town was fake, that his heart was the rare exception. I'd followed him blindly. For every ounce he gave, I hurled back a pound of devotion. I almost bolted on the spot. But the life-size cutout of me in the corridor, plugging the movie I'd bled for, stopped me cold. Yes, Adrian had greased the wheels, but I'd still clawed through 5 callback auditions to win the part. If I slunk home now, I'd only prove I was the worthless daughter my parents assumed, someone who couldn't dodge an arranged marriage, let alone survive Hollywood. I decided to finish the film, wrap it with no regrets, and leave afterward. Adrian is the male lead, so no matter how sick he makes me, I have to park my feelings and keep acting opposite him. He still fusses over me, Oscar, dark as hell inside, yet playing the devoted boyfriend in 4K detail. Your head's not in it. You fought for top billing, show up prepared or you burn everyone's day. After one take he laid into me, stone-faced. He'd never nitpicked my craft before, but today was different. Brianna was on set. Crew gossip hummed that Adrian had never let a woman shadow him in public. This Vance must be special. Sorry. I'll reset. In the past I'd have snapped back when he got stern, but this time I just apologized, which clearly unsettled him. He started to reach for my head, almost stroked my hair. Then Brianna's laughter drifted over and his hand dropped. "Get it right. Don't let me down." He pivoted away and went to her. He introduced her around. "Vance just flew back from London. She's always been fascinated by filmmaking, so I'm giving her the grand tour." Brianna waved like royalty. "Huge fan of Adrian. Hope my fangirling doesn't slow production, achoo." She sneezed hard. Adrian rushed to baby her. "Told you it's chilly. Wear more layers next time. I'm allergic to cheap synthetic perfume." When Luna passed by my nose revolted. She added the killer smile. "No offense, I'm just super sensitive." Adrian frowned at me. "You're getting famous. Could you quit bathing in that drugstore perfume?" I stood speechless, cotton-mouthed. The perfume was his first birthday gift to me. He said the floral note matched my fresh sweet vibe, so I'd never switched. Now, thanks to Brianna, the pricey fragrance was cheap synthetic. Cheap wasn't the scent, cheap was his love. That evening Miles told me the crew was heading to dinner. I figured it was a routine wrap party. Only after we arrived did I learn Brianna was hosting. This place costs a fortune, trust Vance money. We're all riding Adrian's coattails. Everyone beamed, crowding the couple, calling them a match made in Forbes heaven. I shrank into a corner, zero appetite for the sculpted food. "Luna, Adrian talks about you nonstop. Seeing you in person, yep, just like I pictured." Brianna cruised over, flute of champagne extended, eyebrow cocked in victory. "Sorry, I can't." I glanced at Adrian. He knew a sip gives me head-to-toe hives. The table quieted, they sensed the triangle sparking. "So famous now that I'm unworthy of a toast, Luna?" She shoved the glass closer, icy smile intact. I swallowed my anger and gently pushed her hand away. Nothing personal, everyone here knows I don't drink. I appreciate the gesture, but alcohol lands me in the ER. I thought the refusal sounded civil. I wanted these last weeks tension-free. Two PAs piped up in my defense. Luna really can't. Yeah, allergic, seen the rash, it's scary. Cornered by witnesses, Brianna lowered the glass. Then Adrian plucked it from her, thrust it at me again. Luna, Vance bankrolls this picture. You won't even toast our investor? When I stayed frozen, he lost patience. I taught you gratitude. Vance can't dictate Victor's casting, but yanking a problematic lead? That's doable. He even threatened me to my face. His words hit me like two open-handed slaps, and the strength I'd been clenching finally cracked. My hand shook as I took the glass and tossed back the vodka shot in one go. The burning river raced down my throat and exploded in my stomach, a bonfire scorching every organ. The chatter around me surged again, everyone toasting Brianna. With that single gesture Adrian proved Brianna had erased me from his heart. My head pounded like it would split. Just before the tears spilled I bolted from the bistro. I hadn't rounded the block before my stomach revolted and I crouched on the curb, vomiting. Sobs, snot, and bile smeared my face. Strangers detoured, convinced I was unhinged. That moment I finally saw how blindly stupid I'd been. At home I was the pampered princess, yet I'd followed Adrian here to suffer for what I called love. I speed dialed Dad, then hung up the instant it connected. 3 years, long enough for them to give up on me, maybe even cut me off for good. My phone rang, Dad was calling back. I answered with shaking fingers, and before I could speak his familiar voice poured through. Luna, you finally reached out to Dad. Mom and I miss you so much. Are you still mad at us? How have you been? Your mom has watched your dramas on loop and cried every time. It's our fault. If we'd listened, you wouldn't have stormed off. Daddy can start an agency for you, bankroll any film, hire any co-star you want. That tore the last dam open, I bawled. Dad, I messed up. I was selfish. When I finish shooting this movie, I'll come home, okay? I miss you guys. He brightened instantly. Deal. Come back and we'll give you the world. We won't force you to inherit, won't push you to marry. Billions to blow, just be happy. I'll invest in your agency tomorrow and make you a shareholder. His absurd generosity yanked me from despair to a soggy laugh. Dad, I don't need shares. But the film I'm on is financed by Vance, could you edge them out? Consider it done, he said. Vance has deep pockets, but next to us there's small change. I'd let Brianna and Rian walk over me, humiliating. Once we wrap, I'll bury those trash. With family armor on, I stopped crying in gutters. Back at the condo I was spotted with hives, pills dulled the itch. The door banged open and Adrian lurched in, reeking of booze. Make me hangover soup. When I didn't move, he scowled. It was one drink. Stop the drama. Chapter 2 I gave a cold laugh. Right, one shot won't kill me. Such a tiny thing, yet you act devastated. Have I spoiled you so much you've lost direction? My defiance grated on him, his tone sharpened. I met his eyes calmly. All my issues are trivial. This nobody's going to bed so tomorrow's shoot stays on schedule and the investors don't suffer massive losses. I'd never talked back before. He blinked, stunned. He recovered and gripped my wrist. Little girl throwing attitude, kinda cute. His smug smirk turned my stomach. What, Brianna, the shiny new toy isn't enough? She leave you hungry? His face darkened. Luna, watch your mouth. I stared right back. I'm just another fame-hungry extra, nothing like Vance's heiress. Ice crackled in his voice. Then know your place and don't cross me. Everything you have came from me. Keep provoking me and you'll regret it. I answered flatly, I'll wait and see. He shoved me aside and slammed the door. Adrian gone, I finally slept. At dawn the set buzzed with sideways glances. Luna, take the day off, Victor said, face stormy. I froze. Why? Investors barged in wanting to recast you, weeks from wrap, can you believe it? Victor's bluntness told me he hated the order. Adrian strolled past, smirking. Investors have their reasons. She's not irreplaceable. Victor shook his head. She owns this role and her craft is solid, everyone sees it. I'll fight them, no one's torching my film. As Victor strode off Adrian muttered, doors still open, if you beg. The more he pushed, the stiffer my spine. I'm innocent, you and Brianna aren't. He sneered. Your stubborn streak was cute, now it's just dumb. He loved lecturing me. Once I mistook it for care, not anymore. Spare me, hypocrite. Engaged to Brianna yet juggling me, what's in it for you? He hadn't expected full frontal sass. Without me you'd starve. Marrying Brianna clinches bigger deals. Have I ever shortchanged you? If I weren't fully awake, his spin might have hooked me. I'm not a side quest in your Brianna game. Want me as mistress? You're not worth it. Adrian supposedly exploded at crew all day. 2 days later the call came, back to set. Victor grinned when I arrived. Lucky you, Vance pulled out overnight, and the Sioux family from the capital jumped in, insisting you stay lead. Funny, you share their name. Distant cousin? I smiled without answering. She's just a small town girl, no connection to those Sioux, someone muttered. Adrian stood at the edge of the set, lobbing sarcasm like darts. Of everyone, he was the angriest that I'd been allowed back, but the decision had clearly moved out of his pay grade. Luckily we were in the final stretch of shooting and all our love scenes were in the can. If I'd still had to stare into those eyes and pretend devotion, I would have cracked. Brianna had now gone public as Adrian's girlfriend, and the two of them were turning up at every velvet rope venue in town. Overnight the blogs were nothing but breathless items about Adrian. Perfect match, I thought. I silently wished them a lifetime together so they'd quit poisoning everyone else. The wrap party wrapped, I'd finally crawled into bed for a real night's sleep. When my phone exploded, my full name was parked at the top of every trending hashtag list. Hashtag Oscar winner and heiress, secret affair exposed. Did a little star come between them? Hashtag Luna seduced Adrian for the lead. Hashtag Luna the industry skank knocked on Victor's door at 3 a.m. to keep her part. Hashtag Luna get out of Hollywood. Hashtag insider. Luna tried to wreck Adrian and Vance heiress romance, got crushed of course. The online mob came for me. The hashtags turned into horror stories. Anti-fans ringed the agency holding tons of rotten eggs. Some pap had even stitched together photos of Adrian and me walking the same hallway. Proof, I was the homewrecker. My car got keyed, garbage piled knee-high outside my condo, and overnight I became the rat everyone wanted to stone. The agency told me to lie low, but the fire was too big, they didn't know which hose to grab. I drove to Adrian's condo to ask what the hell was happening. He wouldn't buzz me up. You know exactly what you did, he drawled through the intercom, and I realized he wasn't just watching the bonfire, he'd brought the matches. I called home. Dad threw his money around, traced the smear campaign in 48 hours, and confirmed both Adrian and Brianna had signed the purchase orders. He slammed his desk so hard I flinched. They dared gang up on my little girl? It's only Vance, wait till Daddy, breathe, I cut in, he's too old for this stress, and I didn't want my mess shaving years off his life. At least we know who's holding the knife. Don't worry, your daughter isn't some sacrificial lamb, I bite back. I WhatsApped Brianna and asked for a sit down. Certain she'd won, she couldn't race over fast enough to gloat at my wrecked face. She strutted in, and I skipped the foreplay. She sneered, fangs out. You wanted fame, congrats, now you're blazing hot. Why? I kept my voice flat. Oh please, Luna, drop the act. She sniffed. I know you were Adrian's side chick for 3 years, so what? A man that gorgeous collects toys. You were just the mattress. Now he's bored, tossed you, and you're seething. But sulking won't help. Vance can hand Adrian deals your tiny brain can't even spell. Still, you pulled strings with the Sioux family, forced us to withdraw funding, and kept your starring role, impressive for gutter trash. Ah, so the part was the real bruise. Adrian swore you were nobody, she kept digging. Why would the Sioux go to war for you? Unless, you're their patriarch's secret bed warmer? She could slur me, I'd been called worse, but dragging Dad through the sewer? No. I cracked my palm across her cheek hard enough to rattle her diamond studs. Clean your mouth. She screeched and lunged, nails first, designer decorum gone. We were still yanking hair and trading scratches when security finally peeled us apart. Let me go. I'll slice her face off, Adrian burst in, pinning Brianna's arms while she spat threats. It's over, Brianna. Luna was live streaming the whole thing, a PA yelled, fishing my phone from the ficus and ending the stream. I'd started the broadcast before she walked in, with the scandal already viral, the clip would detonate within minutes. Brianna turned the color of old paper, realizing every curse she'd loosed was now immortal. She tried to claw me again but the guards dragged her out howling. Adrian's jaw was granite. Luna, you planned this, calculated every frame. I stared, honestly baffled. The hashtags burned me, Brianna's venom was aimed at me, I did nothing wrong, and somehow I'm the schemer? Unbelievable, he muttered, convinced words were wasted, and bolted after Brianna. Rage burns fast, so does outrage. The brawl clip rocketed across every platform. Brianna wasn't talent, but she was Adrian's fiancée, and hearing an heiress shriek gutter slang tanked both her rep and Vance stock for days. Meme pages had a field day. Oscar winner's downfall. Fiancé just loved him too much. Heiress's warped romance unmasks Prince Charming. Adrian vanished from my orbit. Per Miles, Brianna's grandfather grounded her in the family compound, and Vance PR went into bunker mode. Adrian caught shrapnel too. I finally flew home. 3 years older, Mom and Dad looked it. I knelt, apologized for the tantrum that made them worry from across an ocean. I hibernated 6 months, technically half retired. Fans speculated Vance had me whacked or the agency had iced me. Then the premiere loomed, press duties mandatory, and I stepped in front of cameras again. Adrian, contractual. Why bound, showed up too. Those months had shaved years off him. Bad press, cancelled engagement, lost endorsements, still famous, just dimmed. He studied me, dazed. Luna, you look different. I'd slept 8 hours a night, eaten real food, done Pilates with Mom. The glow was baseline self-care returning fire. You, on the other hand, look like you've been living on set coffee. I answered, tone light, message not. Yet star power is stubborn. Wherever he walked, phones rose like candles. We promoted the movie, laughed on cue, and only I saw the blame smoldering behind his pupils, sharp enough to cut. Days before the premiere, a former agency accountant held a press conference. She possessed dual contracts proving I'd embezzled a mountain of cash. The worst part was that he also leaked every detail of my life for the past 6 months, posting receipts for facials, body sculpting sessions, brunches, shopping sprees, every rich girl expense, until the internet branded me a gold-digging diva. Brianna, who had gone radio silent for weeks, suddenly flooded TikTok with sneaky candids someone had taken of me. She'd hired a private eye. The shots were grainy but damning, me leaving a spa, me clinking mimosas at Nobu, me linking arms with a silver-haired man in a Burberry trench. I told you Luna's a serial homewrecker, she narrated over the montage. First she threw herself at Adrian so she could parachute into Hollywood and steal roles that should have gone to real actresses. Then she latched onto some billionaire political family in Eastbrook, played mistress long enough to land the female lead in Victor's new blockbuster. A rookie frontlining $100 million film? Connect the dots, people. These pics are proof. Village trash who slept her way to the top. Every red carpet step she took was financed by someone's husband. She tricked me on livestream, edited my words, tried to ruin me. I've spent 6 months digging, clearing my name. She's not just morally bankrupt. She's a criminal. Stars like her belong in county jail, not on posters. The clip exploded. The comment section was a feeding frenzy. Adrian issued his own statement the next morning. Brianna has suffered enough. Time the world saw the real Luna. The so-called dual contract rumor was nothing but smoke, yet the two of them were sure nobody like me would panic when they dumped evidence on the timeline. They didn't know Adrian himself had built my career. Miles was his pick, every contract carried his signature, and for 2 years my paychecks funneled into an account with his name on it. Now he had the nerve to claim I'd laundered money through secret ledgers, and he produced a debit card stamped with my passport name, 10 million in deposits, withdrawals and cash. He cornered me outside the bistro where I'd gone to meet Victor. Confess you smeared Brianna and I'll cover the shortfall, he said, sunglasses hanging from his collar, voice silk over steel. Last offer. Looking at that face, GQ cover boy bone structure, I felt frost crawl across my ribs. The same lips that once whispered I was his good luck charm were now drafting my obituary. Love turns rancid fast. Yesterday's breakfast in bed becomes tomorrow's exhibit A. I exhaled. Adrian, the 6 months I spent offline, I kept replaying the last 3 years. The memories feel like a rom-com shot through a pink lens. Reality is raw black and white. I used to brag I was dating the brightest star in Hollywood. I even planned the day I'd take you home to meet my parents, thought that would be my victory lap. My family could give you more than Vance ever promised, but that's dust now. Even after you and Brianna announced your engagement, I never wanted revenge. You rescued me when I was a broke extra, I still owe you for that. But why try to drag me to hell now? I had loved him, truly, stupidly, and later hated him just as fiercely. Months of detox at my parents' estate had cauterized most of the emotion. I came back to promote Victor's film, prepared for a polite handshake and nothing more. Maybe something in my tone scraped a raw spot, because for a second his mask slipped and I saw the old Adrian, eyes soft like overexposed film, but it vanished just as fast, replaced by calculating ice. If you'd been any other middle-class hopeful, we might have lasted. Brianna isn't my greatest love, she's my greatest asset. You didn't play nice, so now you pay tuition. He honestly believed I was ribeye on the butcher block. Greed is a rabid animal, no fame or fortune ever feeds it enough. I shrugged. How do you know I can't give you everything you want and more? The next afternoon Dad walked into the Beverly Hilton ballroom, cameras live streaming in 4K. Luna is my daughter, he said, clicking to a slide of our passport family photo at Banff 2 Christmases ago. The screenshot Brianna posted? Just me holding Dad's elbow at JFK after he'd flown coach to surprise me. The internet flatlined for 43 minutes. Overnight, Luna the scandal queen became Luna the rebellious heiress who could have coasted on trust fund fumes but chose craft services coffee and night shoots instead. My follower count rocketed past Brianna's and Adrian's combined. Dad's legal SWAT team took over. Within days they untangled paper trails that led to Adrian's laptop, the dual contracts, the Shell LLC, every fraudulent transfer routed through the card he'd lifted from my wallet while I was sleeping. 1 month later, I was officially cleared. Adrian was in county jail awaiting arraignment for wire fraud, tax evasion, and grand theft. The employee who'd sworn under oath I'd ordered the cooked books admitted Adrian paid her 50 grand for the lie. Public enemy number 1 morphed into America's sweetheart, proof that a tarnished reputation can polish itself if you own enough Brillo. During the press tour, a bold reporter asked if I'd truly known nothing. I pretended to ponder, then answered. The amount listed on that fake dual contract equals what my family's conglomerate grosses in a quarter. Why on earth would I bother skimming pocket change? The film opened to record-breaking numbers. Half the audience bought tickets for gossip. They left posting 5-star reviews about a performance I'd bled for in 35-degree rain at 3 a.m. while crew members whispered that I was box office poison. On the day we overtook every other release for the yearly crown, Vance filed for bankruptcy. The bribery probe Adrian started dragged Brianna and her father into the same cell block. They can keep each other company, I said, eyes on my freshly manicured nails. My new Miles whistled. He must be choking on regret. You ever visit him? I lifted a shoulder. He doesn't deserve 1 more second of my life. I signed away my inheritance. Dad is healthy, loves the grind, and insists retirement is for mortals. I'm back on set, no labels cub, no arm candy ingenue. Just Luna, fresh minted queen of the $100 million club, scripts piling up, the horizon wide open. Curtain. Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed the story, like and share it with friends. We'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe for more tales. See you next time.